and just rocking and rolling.
We're both in LA today.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's let's do an energy check. Get the energy up in the room. We have a lot of exciting stuff to share with you today. I want to talk to you about making smart shifts. What's the energy level? 1 out of 10. Type it in the chat for me. My energy level must be like super high, Leo. I just got a call from the landlord at the office where I rent right before I come on here, and he says, I need you to quieten down in the conference room. I'm getting complaints from the next door neighbor that you're too loud in there on your meetings. I said, well, that's interesting because I am 2,100 miles away. So he apologized, and we amicably got off the phone before I come on the Zoom.
There you go.
Not everything goes as planned, but the way we adjust to the shifts is what makes the difference of how our business succeeds. All right. So there is a couple of takeaways I want you to have today. The first one is type it in the chat GTFM, get the freaking money. I want to talk to you today about how to transition your high income skills to turn it to cash for you and your business. The objective here, and going back to the first, for anybody who's newer here, who's came in the last few days, welcome. We have been covering how to find deals, how to get deals, how to close those deals, negotiate those deals, how to turn them to cash flow, and how to enjoy the cash flow of a landlord without the headaches. Been talking a lot of different segments about boss flow. We got way more to cover than we can possibly fit in our next 6 days together, but my gosh, how time is flying by. So there's really a note I want to take away, and it comes down to your mindset. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about structuring your entity. We're going to be talking about protecting yourself. If you're in the beginning stages of the business, we're going to show you who we use to set up our LLCs, and they can manage them for you, all sorts of stuff. So you're going to be meeting a whiz in that department tomorrow and have the opportunity to ask them questions. Beyond that, again, we've got a jam-packed 6 more days after today. But today specifically, I want to give you the process my mind goes through, because regardless of whether you have one house that you're trying to buy or 10 that you're trying to buy, regardless of whether you have one house you're trying to sell or 10 that you're trying to sell, regardless of if you're trying to come up with 10K in the next 10 days or 110K in the next 10 days or more, the mindset is the same. We have to figure out how to solve problems and use our high income skills to create revenue that allows us to get to the next level. All right. This is making sense. Give me a thumbs up. All right. Good, 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 good. So, for all of you, the high income skill, of course, I teach a lot of sales, buying houses, because it's something I happen to know. And I want to remind you, if you've worked a W-2 all your life, many times, if money gets tight, we go back to what we know, right? We know how to create revenue from working a W-2, trading our hours for dollars. We know how to create revenue from whatever we have done in years and time past. So while there's nothing wrong with that, and that should be a launch pad to get to where we want, it's very, very important that you understand you have to detach your time from money to start making the level of income that gives you freedom. All right. Type the word freedom in the chat. Keep the interactions going. This is good. Day 53. You guys are hanging with us and we're having a blast. And the momentum is still riding high. By the way, I am so excited. Leo and I was just talking this morning. We're pumped to see so many of you here in 2 more weeks in Louisville, Kentucky. And we're thrilled beyond measure. We have 3 jam-packed days of information and networking connecting for you. The objective is to ask ourselves, how do we detach our time from money? For some of you, and I want to teach you to, if you're taking notes, write this down, locate the opportunity. Now, locating the opportunity, becoming a creative transaction genius is absolutely paramount to being able to do this, to being able to create this income streams for yourself. At the same time, when we become creative transaction genius, when we begin to put deals together, it's easy to find a deal that's not actually a deal and put endless hours. I've had several of the not deals. I put many, many, many hours in. I tried to solve one problem after the next problem, after the next problem, after the next problem. And at some point, after you've solved the first 37 challenges on the same deal and it keeps falling through, there's a time where it comes and you just go, okay, I got it. I need to stop trying so hard on this one because the next one's going to be 100 times easier and there's going to be a better one right behind it. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't have tenacity. In fact, I'm probably one of the most tenacious people you've ever met. It's served me well many times and probably hurt me a few times. The objective, though, if we can really step into this creativity and begin to create income revenue for ourselves that's detached from our time, our whole world will change. This is where we begin to look again, not at the box on dirt, because that's the asset we see. The biggest change I think that happened when I started working virtually was I began to be shocked that I could buy a house, sell a house, get a check, close a deal, all without me being present. And I realized that I'm not buying the box on land. I'm not buying the box in dirt. I am shifting paper, so to speak. I'm gathering deeds and turning it to cash flow or turning it to a profit. And once you start to detach emotionally from the deal and look at it as the numbers, you can negotiate so much better and get a deal that is a win for all, because now you're looking at it not as the property, but you're looking at it as the numbers on the paper for what it is, because at the end of the day, the numbers is what matters. All right. So stepping into a mindset of abundance is going to be key to be able to seize the opportunities. We're stepping into a season here. And for those of you who have been here a while, you'll have heard me say this. We're stepping into a possibly once in a lifetime opportunity where opportunity is meeting the proper timing, and for you guys, meeting your preparation. And there's never been a better time to gather a team. There's never been a better time to when I say this, I'm not talking about adding a big payroll. I'm talking about gathering the 2 or 3 sniper-like team members that you know you need to begin getting deals at the rate that you know you can. Because I assure you, in your market, there's way more deals than you're getting, and it's humanly impossible to gather them all. And even if you did work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, gathering a bunch of them, you would hate your life. So the objective, again, is to get good at finding the deals, gathering the deals, and turning them to cash flow. And this is the important part. Write this down: with minimal headaches. So as you're stepping in and you're gathering these deals, I don't want you to be thinking, how can I make the most out of this deal? I want you to be thinking, how can I reap the greatest benefit with the least amount of headaches, right? That's why you see us sometimes lease optioning deals that we might be able to Airbnb for a little more money, but it has to be a lot more money in order to make it worth that. Leo, as everyone here is, stepping over the last several weeks with us into this mindset of abundance and being CTGs and finding opportunities and preparing, frankly, for the flood of deals that is coming, the deeds gathering opportunity that's in front of us, what should the mindset shift be happening right now?
I think we look at some of the greatest people who are doing this business and who are, in business in general, and see kind of what they're doing. See what kind of opportunities they created in their first 5 years of business, first 10 years of business. And we start to think, okay, there's a lot more that we can do. I mean, this business is a strategy that we follow, and we continue to do the process of getting leads, marketing, closing those leads, and then bring it to a closing table. Continuous process. until you do that enough to where you want to level up and you say, okay, I do want to be a business owner. I do want to operate, I do want to build this company where I have a team under me. Now they're just doing what you did for the first year or two, or for some of you, first 3 months, and you get the first couple of people who are doing the calls for you. Now you're sitting back, and the amount of work you did in the beginning is now being done for you. Now that person's bringing you deals. That person's bringing you deals every single week. And you say, okay, this is a good time. Now I'm doing 1 to 2 deals a month without me having to be on the phone. Is that the time where you can go to Bali, go to Italy, go to Japan every single month? Maybe not yet, but this is where you say, okay, how much does that dream life cost? How much would a every 3 month or every 2 month trip to an international place with a 5-star hotel cost? Okay, maybe it's 6, 7K each trip. Okay, perfect. How much would a camper cost? I want to go around with my family around the States. How much would a camper cost? And you put those type of costs together and you start to realize your dream life costs $46,522 every month. And you go, okay, cool. Now I can say, how many deals do I need to do to be able to bring in 46K? And we say that's what is that? In a decent market, that's 2 wholesales and maybe 1 terms deal to get your passive income rolling. And now you have a team doing it. But this is the part of the mindset where why are we trying to understand the business is so you can train a team to do it for you. It's not that you can hustle for the next 20 years to get a deal a month. That's that. There's so many other businesses that you guys can go into where if you want to spend the next 20 years doing it, you it might be easier. You might want to go put a whole bunch of money into crypto and hopefully get lucky in there. Or you might want to go put it, you know what I'm saying? With real estate, though, this is the mindset. We're growing the strategy, we're understanding it so we can have a team that does it for us so we can bring in that 46K a month to go do the things that we want to do. And that starts to drive us more and more and more every day because it's just math. It simplifies it for us.
Write this down. Be fun to work with. How does somebody become fun to work with? One, you ask great questions. Two, you offer a lot of value. And three, you constantly surround yourself with opportunity. Number two, become attractive. What do I mean by that? Be someone who is fun to be around, who, when you walk in a room, people are like, I don't know why I'm attracted to that person, but I want to talk to them. Right? You meet those people, you see those people who walk into a room and you're like, I just got to go talk to them. You see those people who come on and do something and you're like, I want to be near them. And as you're doing these things, you're going to attract great people. Now, I'm going to say something here. Some of you are going to be shaking your heads going, I know exactly what you mean. And others of you are going to be going, how do I do that? Use your intuition. Listen to your gut. As you become attractive, as you become fun to work with, a lot of amazing people will come into your life. But you have to be a good judge of character. You have to sit there and listen to your gut. Or if you're a man and you're married, listen to your wife's gut. Or some other great lady in your life who's looking out for you as well. These things are good. I say this sincerely because as we step into this, and man, you have this intuition too. We just, I think, tend to, at least for me, not listen to it as much. But you're sitting there, you're having lunch with somebody, you meet somebody at a meetup, and you know immediately, like, this is a person who I know could add a lot of value to my life. How do I figure out how to add value to theirs, right? And so you're having this conversation, and then you will meet people. If you go to some local meetup, you go to something, there's going to be those people who come to you who you just know aren't your vibe. They're not your people. Nothing wrong with that, right? Be pleasant and move on. My point is, every wrong person you allow in your life, every wrong deal you allow in your life, saying yes to any wrong time or energy sucking thing allows you, takes away your ability to say yes to something else, right? So you saying yes here means you're saying no somewhere else. Always. We all are human. We all have 24 hours in a day. You saying no to a team means you're saying yes to grind it out and go get your own deals. Nothing wrong with that. You saying whatever it is that you say no to, you're saying yes to something else. Or if you say yes to, you're saying no to something else. So choose wisely. That's why you're here on this 60 days. You understand hanging out with Leo and myself and our incredible team and the other 75 awesome people on here today. You know that you're going to receive value from this. You know you're going to connect with people. That's why 93 or so of you, 97 of you, however many it is, Paul, have agreed and invested in yourself to come join us for 3 days in 2 weeks, because you know being in the right room at the right place at the right time can transform everything. One lead source can turn your business around. One new private lender can change everything. One new opportunity, one new partnership. And so as you're becoming super attractive, attracting right people, as you're becoming super fun to work with, and you're always the one who's bringing the energy and the fun in this deal, or maybe you're the other side of the equation and your partner's the one bringing the energy and fun to the deals, but you're the one looking at the numbers going, we got to kill this one. Whatever your role is, just know your superpower and own it. Step into that, right? So until we know and own our superpowers and become great at adding value where we know how, we'll never be able to detach our time from our money. The moment we figure that out, say, hey, I know that 10 sales calls can make me an average of 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to do 30 sales calls. All right. That's still attached to my time, but it's a little bit of my time for a big chunk of money. All right, cool. Now I'm going to find a couple more people who can assist me in doing this thing, and I'll ensure they make a lot of money and we have fun building together. All right. A lot more on that topic. Before I do, Leo, what's a couple of notes that I should add in there?
Andrew, I think you and I are in a season of discernment. We're making choices every day of what we want in our life, what we don't want in our life. And since we've been in this season, we have said no to so many things. And
So true.
because of that, we have seen so much success in the past, honestly, the past few years, but especially the past couple of months, right? We said yes to a couple opportunities. We said no to a lot of opportunities. We prioritized the right things in our lives. We got rid of a lot of people in our lives that weren't on our same wavelength. And that's okay. Guys, we have to be okay with letting people in our lives go that are not going to serve us. Because if they're not going to serve us, we can't serve them. And why else are we in each other's lives if they're going to bring you down? And we've done this so much in our lives recently, and it's created such an abundance. In the past couple of weeks, Andrew, we've done so much, and on the social media side, we chose to start a campaign, and we got 4 million views for free. And we started to remove some people in our lives, and guess what? All these opportunities started to come. And we started to prioritize things in the right way. So when we enter a season of discernment, when we enter a season of just choosing which route is going to be the best for us and saying no to things and saying yes to the right things, now we can finally feel like we're in control. Because one of the worst feelings is thinking you're in control, but then the wheel's just going on its own, driving its own way, and we never really get a handle on it. So what I want you guys all to do is to put your hands on the wheel and start taking control of that car. Start taking control of your life by making the choices, deciding what's going to be best for you. Because everyone is going to be better because of it. Everyone around your life is going to be better because you made that decision.
I think it's a powerful note, something Leo, actually you taught me this, but that was when we began interviewing people for the mastermind community. You would always look at me and go, Andrew, what do you think their self-worth is? Because we know until someone realizes that they have it in them, that they are worth, quote, your self-worth outside of money, and you know that, hey, you truly know you'll be a good steward with 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, 200,000 a month. Because if you have self-doubt, you'll never be a great steward of that abundance. And I think that's something that I learned from you, not realizing how much the self-worth, self-image Leo was before we became such great friends. And you started showing me that, because I knew I could go out and create money, but there was still self-doubt around me there, right? I knew I'd always proved, quote, a worthy steward. I'd get money, I would go do good things, but yet I would self-sabotage myself because I had some lacking of self-worth there. And I share that because some of you, you're like, I just need leads, I just need deals. And that's awesome, except as you begin to view who you're becoming, what will the Veronica who's creating $100,000 a month extra do with that? Who will the Amy who has an extra $38,000 a month coming in do with that? And when you start to realize, well, of course, I've been faithful with what I have, right? I've given, I've helped those around me. Now you start to see, well, absolutely, I have no problem managing a whole lot more, but it's that shift that as you take ownership of that and you actually visualize that, you begin to see yourself creating that. Now everything around you changes and begins to line up to allow that to happen. Because what Leo said there is so powerful, and it's changed my life. I used to believe that to allow someone to slip out of my life was doing them a great disservice, because I somehow felt, I don't know how I felt, but I'm certain some of you can relate. And so I immediately thought I had to take care of, everyone who I somehow had found their way into my life around me. And I realized that by trying to, quote, take care of everyone around me, I not only wasn't taking care of myself or my business, myself and my business was last place. Therefore, it wasn't nearly the success that it could have been. So you're doing a disservice to yourself, to your team, and frankly to God, if you believe you want to give back and do good, to continue giving of yourself to money suck, time suck, energy draining tasks and people around you. I'm not talking about being mean. I'm talking about a shift in direction. That is a huge difference, because now you know where you're headed, and everything that takes you closer to that objective, everything that takes me one step closer to my freedom number, one step closer to the proper team, one step closer to the proper people, one step closer. That's why I have this belief we get to choose our family, which selfishly is one of the reasons we started building Freedom Life. Leo and I wanted to grow our family. And as we begin to choose the people coming into our communities, everything changes. You get to choose the people surrounding you. And that's what I want for all of you as you're building teams, as you're networking, as you're creating your sphere of influence that is created by design. Not just working with a private lender because they have money. If I don't want to go to dinner with somebody, I sure as heck ain't borrowing money from them. If I don't want to have a phone conversation and truly enjoy catching up with this person for 5 or 10 minutes, I sure as heck ain't going to partner up with them on a deal, right? Because it's not worth it to me. I've told you a few times throughout these 60 days, I'm too old to deal with crap I don't want to deal with anymore. And I'm still young. All right. That's what I want for all of you, is to realize that your high income skill can produce you the life you desire by doing the things you want to do. That doesn't mean we don't do the hard things. It doesn't mean we don't put in the work, but it is that shift. You can create so much more than you think you can in so much smaller space than you think you can if you just make the shifts, plug into the right people, the right streams, the right places with the right timing. Before we go to questions and before I share one additional thought, Leo, what else should we cover there?
So I see a lot of people nodding, and it's because you guys understand and see this message. But let's talk about self-belief for a minute and really talk about it. It's just you, me, and Andrew. Let's have a conversation about self-belief. Because let's just say we started this whole 60 days, is a 60 days about self-belief. No one would come on because everyone thinks they believe themselves. But what if you have an actual conversation about do you really believe in yourself? Because what does self-belief mean? It means you have done the work in your mind to make sure that every negative thought that is a doubt, your positive mind overrides the doubt enough times to where the voice that you portray and the actions that you portray is the one that actually does believe in yourself and the one that is more positive. So that every day as you're doing the calls, every day as you're talking to people, okay, hey, let's do a dinner. Let's do a private money dinner. I don't know what I'm doing, so let's just do it anyways, and we'll figure it out. That voice is the one of the successful person, is the one that believes in him or herself. The one that says, let's do a private money. I don't know anything about it. I can't do that. Okay, you're right. You're right. I won't do it. I won't do it. I should do a call. But I can't. What if they say I won't do it? When you see those things happening over and over again, you have to have a check-in with yourself. Or do you really believe in yourself? Because that faith is what's going to provide the action. That's what's going to provide the success. But if that faith in yourself is not even there, that is what, let me take a moment here for all the people that we've rejected for the Freedom Life Mastermind or for Boslo, I will tell you why right now. And we tell you why on the phone. We tell you why. But it's because that you don't have that initial faith that sometimes is just required. You need that initial faith. And you need that. It shows that you've done at least some work on your mind and you've done the repetition of fixing the self-talk over and over again to the point where when doubt comes up so much, you're not going to fry yourself. You're not going to continually bash yourself and stop yourself from taking action because that's a point where no one is able to come and help you. No one's able to put their hand out because even with the greatest hand out there for you, you're going to say, I'm not good enough for it. I can't even that the hands, there's something to it. There's a catch. There's a catch. That is why for all the people we've rejected for the Freedom Life Mastermind. Self-belief, I want everyone to really take an input on themselves and say, how much do you really believe in yourself? And here's how you do it. Say the goal that you want out loud, and then hear the first voice that comes up. What is that first voice? And then how do you deal with that first voice? And then 2 minutes later, how do you feel again? That's going to show that's going to show your self-talk. That's going to show your self-belief because what happens typically is that first voice says, no, you're not, you can't do it. And then 2 minutes later, you fight yourself for about two whole minutes. You fight yourself on it. Who's going to win that conversation? You need to have the stronger voice in your mind that believes in yourself so much to the point where all the doubts that come up in each of us crumble away. Okay? Type in the chat I if that's what you want. If that is what you want to be able to remove all the self-doubts, crumble them all away, and have just such a strong mentality and such a strong mindset. And nobody's words can get to you, especially your own words. Who wants that?
About half of you have typed I. For the other half of you, what if it means that's the thing that removes the dam, removes the problem, the dam breaks, and now that is the missing piece getting you to your freedom number. That should get about 38 more eyes.
In the beginning, we said I. Everyone kept just putting A,
I
like I. That's
love
good.
it.
I'm glad we got that message across because it's so important, guys, is really building this self-belief. And if you got anything from these 60 days, is that we wanted you to leave with so much self-belief, so much faith. And of course, those of you coming in working with us, that's the first step. Don't apply until you got that piece. Because if you have the self-belief that you can do it, we will take you as far as you can go. Because our Freedom Life members know, our Boss Love members know, we will push you to the absolute edge every single time because it forces you to grow. And because you have that faith in yourself, it allows you to flourish. And we have that faith in you. Okay. So if you're thinking about applying, and if you're coming to the Truca event, I mean, we're in a couple of days, or I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Spend the next 14 days, every single day, keeping a check on your mind. What voice comes up first? And start to try to override that voice with nonstop positivity. And it's not, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. It's not that. It's, you know what? I'm becoming more confident. I'm getting better on the phones. I may not be great right now, but I'm getting better. Let those voices come up.
That's deep, Leo. Thank you for that. And I think it's so important for all of us, because in my mind, I was not into self-development when I first started. I'm like, no, I just got to put in the freaking calls. I just got to put in the freaking work. I'm like just banging it out, right? But it was sheer will. I got the first several deals, several couple hundred deals, and continued to self-sabotage myself in so many ways. And I share that because it's so powerful once you get the foundations right. As you're doing deals, everything changes. Now you can begin to think of how to multiply money, how to do the thing you want to do, how to live your purpose, how to make this business empower you to live your purpose more fully. So that's what I'm excited about for all of you. We'll get to questions. And right before we do that, remember tomorrow we're getting into entities. We're getting into making sure that your assets are protected, where to get your LLC set up if you don't have one, or if you do have one, making sure that you've done it right. Our good friend's going to be here answering your questions and giving you rundowns of that. And then Saturday, we got a jam-packed fun day. And Monday, we got a guest coming back. We are 6 days left, and we're just getting started. All right, Paul, what's our questions?
All right. First question today comes from Sharon, and she says, I'm going to sell a contract. It has and or assigns on it, so I can assign it. Is there anything I need to do special? I've already found a title company that can do this. Can I just rely on them to keep me out of trouble?
Yeah, if you have an assignment and you have a professional closing it, a title company closing it, all should be well. Of course, maintain control, Sharon. I say that because if your title, if it's example, Harry Borders, if I send something to Harry Borders, I know I can be hands off. If I send something to several of the other companies that I have and do work with in other states, I do want to maintain a level of control because they may or may not be extremely familiar with the process. They are transactional minded. You are client minded. And so, for example, if you have a buyer who knows what you're getting, great. If they don't know what your assignment fee is, the title company, depending on their experience, may or may not know to be savvy about how all that plays through. So I would ask a series of questions to find out where their mind is and maintain a piece of control and at least a communication throughout the deal until you find out this title company has the capability to handle it without you doing that.
All right. Next question comes from William. He says, do you guys have recommendations of resources for team building, books or resources from yourselves?
Traction by Gino Wickman is an awesome book to read about building the frame, the foundations of your business. What's another good one,
Who,
Leo?
not how.
Oh, that's a good one.
Who, not how. And great CEOs are lazy. Two of the most phenomenal books that, both you and I, Andrew, have ever read. Great CEOs are lazy goes over the 5 dynamics of what a CEO consists of and the mindset about it. And then who, not how is, it says it in the, you honestly can just skip the reading and just start asking who can do this, not how can I do this. But I would definitely read it so we can understand it at a deeper level.
Good recommends.
All
What
right,
else you
next
got?
we got a question here from Jerry. He says, so let's say you come into 100K payday and you've been struggling in credit card or maxed out and you're tempted to just pay off those debts. How would you proceed? Because once the funds are spent, they're gone. And I'm guessing you would have to put the funds toward money-making assets. Is that how you would approach that?
Rent a yacht and go to Paris. I'm kidding. Go, Tim, the good I love this because it's very important that you balance. And I'm not a financial advisor, don't claim to be. And if you call Dave Ramsey, you'll get a much different advice. My philosophy is I want to do three things. If I get a windfall of money and things have been tight, number one, I want to make sure that you get paid first. That's so important. Your business must pay you. Even if it's just a small amount, that's okay. Pull you out 3, 5, 10, whatever. Pull you out a few $1,000. Number two, I want to make sure that those cards get paid down to where it's not a big stress to you, but I don't want to bury all 100 grand in something. Number three, I want to take a portion, a sizable portion, probably around half of that, and I want to figure out how to multiply it. And so, for example, I would write down a couple of different options for myself. First, taking my few $1,000. Second, how much, a couple of options to pay down on the cards. And thirdly, how can I multiply this realistically? I'm not talking about, yay, I got 50 grand. I'm going to go pay cash for a house that's worth 70 and cash flow it for years. That sucks. Don't do that. That's, you need to multiply money, right? I'm talking about multiplying money. But if you can take this 50 grand and go put a 10K to a down payment on 2 or 3 properties that can bring back a 20 Enrod, now you're multiplying money, and the monthly payments on those assets can pay your credit cards down. So set yourself forth a realistic plan, not a pie in the sky. I've got this money. I'm going to go multiply it in some dreamland. I'm talking about a specific action. This is, I'm certain I can take this 50K and multiply it to 500,000, 2,000 a month, plus bringing back double or triple babies. And that will pay off my cards.
All right, we are out of time. I'm going to go real fast here, rapid fire. Who do you recommend for a trust company? Quest Trust just sold to a bigger company.
Trust company. Are you talking about IRA?
That's coming from Timothy Pearson.
So ask that again tomorrow, Timothy, and add some clarity.
All right, and last one here. Who do you recommend that we see besides you at the Truca event to help us overcome self-doubts that are holding us back?
Therapist. Just kidding. A therapist would work. But I mean, there's a lot of great people. There's a lot of great life coaches and mindset coaches. Hop on with me for 30 minutes. Hop on with me for 30 minutes as coachable as possible, and it will work. But if you come not being coachable, that's where you'll fight every help that you get from anybody.
If you're not being coachable, Leo will end the call in 2.5 minutes.
That's right. And send you
Jim
to a
Rohn.
therapist.
Jim Rohn's another good one to listen to. I love Jim Rohn. He's a good coach. There's some other great ones out there. But yes, keep hanging around, get immersed in the culture, and hang around positive people. That's the end all. All right, guys. Tomorrow's going to be an awesome jam-packed day. We'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.